Hello from the Big South Network studio. I'm Mark Bryant with another installment of our softball preview series for 2025. Very happy to have with me now the head coach of the PC Blue Hose, David Williams. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about one of the big storylines this year. For the first time as conference members, PC will host the postseason conference tournament. How are preparations going? What does it mean to the program to have an opportunity like that?
I mean, it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for us to not only showcase our facility, but to showcase our campus. We're very excited to host the tournament. A lot can be said about hosting the tournament. I mean, it's a lot of work, but at the same time, you know, it's an opportunity to not travel, stay in your own bed, and not have to deal with some of those headaches. Preparations, we've kind of had a couple meetings regarding it on campus just to kind of talk about it. A lot more intensive than you would think, but I think we'll try to make it as great of an event as we possibly can for all participants, and you know, hopefully everyone enjoys it.
Of course. Well, I'm sure we will. Coming out of fall ball and preseason practices, what are you working on, or what goals are you directing the team toward?
Yeah, biggest thing is we want to have something to compete for at the end. You know, we want to be able to be in a situation at the end of the year to compete for something, whether it's conference championship or you get to the Big South tournament. And when you get to the tournament, records are irrelevant. You know, whoever wins it gets the AQ. Doesn't matter what seed you are. So we want to be able to compete for something. I think that's the biggest goal. You know, this team has been working pretty hard. They've done a great job. They're all about each other. They're all about you know, the commitment to the overall goal. So I'm just excited to get on the field and see what happens.
Coming off of a tremendous freshman year, you're Casey Wolf, one of your top returning players. How does she continue to improve and elevate her game for this year? And who else are you really looking at for leadership and contribution?
Well, with Casey, you know, her big thing is she jumped on the scene, made a big splash right away. So we spent a lot of time talking to her about, as you come in this year, people are more aware of who you are. So you got to diversify your game a little bit. So from a pitching standpoint, it just might be you developing some other pitches. From a hitter, you know, you got to be prepared to see, you know, maybe more pitches in a certain location. And I think it's more of a mental aspect, just trying to prepare her for that. But I do think she can have a great year this year. I think we'll get some great performances out of a lot of people. I think Kelby Goodrum, Kendall Owens, some of those players that had good years last year could really have phenomenal seasons this year. But we got a lot of younger players too that I feel like can really contribute. And at the end of the day, I do feel like it's going to be a team effort. I think it'll be a team-led goal this year, team-led team, as far as wins, losses, those types of things. But obviously you do have impact players. And I think that we've got several players that could step up and surprise people. But I do think we have some of those older leaders that could have, you know, conference caliber years this year in our all-conference play.
Focus on the pitching side for a second.
Okay.
How is that rotation coming together, or where do you see the bulk of the innings coming from for you?
Well, you know, Peyton Duncan got to pitch a little bit as a freshman, and last year as a sophomore got to pitch quite a bit and served as a starter some. I think she serves an even bigger role this year in that aspect and is one of the main starters. Obviously, Casey Wolf, which we've talked about, is in that rotation. We've got a freshman, Grace Kelly, that I think is going to have a very bright future with us. But we got a transfer, Kayla Roberts, who pitched some last year as a freshman at Purdue Fort Wayne. She could give us some really quality innings. We've got another young lady who was on roster last year but didn't get to pitch a whole lot, Lainey Rusko, who you know, can fill some spots, do some great things for us. They're all uniquely different, and they bring something different. So really, I think some of it's going to come down to what the situation is that day. And that's the direction we'll go, and you know, we could utilize all of them.
We already know what the gauntlet of the conference season is going to look like. That's always tough, but what non-conference opponents have you got lined up, and what do fans have to look forward to this year?
Well, we from a non-conference standpoint, we've got just kind of a mixed bag. We've got a lot of conferences being represented in our non-conference slate. We got a lot of home games. We host 3 tournaments, so we got a lot of those teams coming down. Mostly northern schools. They're coming to escape the colder weather, get better competition. We actually do not have any Power 4 conference schools on our schedule this year. Just kind of happened that way. But we do have some really competitive. We got, I think, 5 schools that were in the NCAA regionals on our conference or non-conference slate. So we will challenge ourselves to some degree before we get to conference, and hopefully we gain some experience and confidence through the non-conference schedule to prepare us for that conference slate.
Well, we wish you and all the Blue Hose the best of luck this season.
Thank you.
And we thank you for watching another installment of our softball preview series for 2025.